Hello friends, greetings of the day. Once again I am back with you all. Before the winter vacation begins, your Christmas starts. Probably this is our last lesson, and again we'll start in the month of January after your vacation is over. So we'll focus back in the month of January. Today, without talking about anything else, we have decided to talk about the art of stocks, the foundation of flavorful cooking. The word stock is very important in the international cuisine. What do we say exactly about the word stock? It is nothing but a foundation liquid. Why we call foundation liquid? Why we require to make this stock in the kitchen? What are the different types? How it is to be utilized? What are the steps to be developed or followed during the cooking of good stock? And different tips for making the best stock in your kitchen. This is our area of discussions. So no point of wasting further time. Let us focus in our slides about stock. There are multiple ways the word stock can be explained. Number one, it is termed as an essential foundation. Why it is called essential foundation? Because stocks are the building blocks of all countless recipes and providing the depth, richness, and complexity of flavors. So it is providing so many things. That's why it is known as foundation liquid. It is founding, acting as a foundation like the building. It is also acting as a foundation liquid for the product or the item you are going to make. Second point, how it is made. The method is very simple. Slow simmering process. Simmering, all of you know, that is below boiling point. Few bubbles will be visible. Slowly it will be cooked below boiling point, that is 100 degrees Celsius, and for prolonged period of time. That is a simmering process. Made by gentle simmering bones, meat, and aromatic vegetables in water, allowing the flavor to meld and intensify. That is the purpose. We are allowing the flavor to meld and intensify. So if the flavor is intensified in the stock, automatically it will be intensified in the final product. Third one, versatile ingredients. How it can be made? What are the ingredients? Customize stocks by choosing ingredients like chicken, beef, fish, veal, vegetables, depending on the desired flavor profile. So we can use anything and almost everything there in stock, depending upon what kind of flavor you are looking for. If it is a chicken product, chicken stock. If it is a meat product, red meat product, then red stock. Can be beef, can be lamb, can be veal. Like that it can be made. Even you can make the vegetables. So all these things can be utilized for making a stock, can be customized, so it has got the versatility. So once we combine these 1, 2, 3 ideas from different aspects about the stock, then we have to build up one common explanation for the word stock. Stocks are flavorful liquids used in the preparation of soup, sauces, stews, and derived by the gently simmering various ingredients in water. They are based on meat, poultry, fish, game, or seafood and flavored with mapua, herbs and spices. So this is overall a gentle preparation by simmering. You can use different resources. Along with that, some technical points you have used like mipua that we will explain in the later half. Herbs and spices. These are all once compiled together and cooked on simmering basis. The product we get that is known as stock. Now there are few points to be remembered, rather to be explained, and it should be very clear in our mind that there are different French terms used for stocks, including fond, F-O-N-D, broth, broth, bouillon, fume or fume, and nage. These are the basic terms used for stock. The term for, meaning base, is a fitting definition for these liquids because they are the foundation of many different food preparations. So the word for is coming, the foundation word is coming from the word for, French word. It means it is used as a base liquid for many preparations. There are few confusing terms like stock, broth and bouillon. Very confusing, but they are essentially quite similar. How it can be explained? Now, a broth. It is usually made from simmering the meat, while a stock is made from the bones. So these are the very important information for you all. Broth is made out of simmering meats, whereas the stock is made out of simmering bones. So idea is very clear in our mind. What is bouillon then? A bouillon coming from the French word bouillir. Bouillir means to boil. Anything can be made by boiling certain ingredients in water for some time. That is known as bouillon. So there is no restrictions. You can use anything that becomes a bouillon of that resource, whatever you are using. Fume or fume, it is a concentrated liquid that often contains wine. Remember, it is a concentrated liquid that often contains wine. So wine is mandatory for fume. And the term fume is very much associated with fish. Fish fume, or the French term for fish is poisson. So poisson fume. These are the common term used in the international kitchen. And then what is nage? Nage is actually, literally means in French is swim. Refers to a cooking ingredient in a court bouillon. Court bouillon also will clarify. Court bouillon, for the timing, you know, it is a kind of fortified liquid and is often associated with shellfish. So the word nage is the cooking liquid, very much similar to court bouillon. However, it is only associated with shellfish. You remember. So we got a clear idea about the terms stock, broth, bouillon and fume and nage. Next, types of stock. Very simple. Stocks are divided into white and brown categories. There is no other types of stock. White, that means it is from the color point of view, it is divided. One is a white color stock, other one is a brown color stock. So these are the two major categories. White stock is uncolored and subtle flavored, while a brown stock uses roasted components to create a rich and robust color. Remember one thing, white stock does not mean that it is like a white like milk. It is white because it is colorless. That is why it is known as or off-white color. That's why it is known as white stock. Depending on the desired outcome, any stock can be white or brown. Whether you use chicken, lamb, mutton, veal, anything you use, it can become a white stock or a brown stock depending on your purpose, the flavor profile. There is another one stock very popular in the world as a Japanese origin, which is known as dashi, a light stock made with dried seaweed. In Japanese terminology, it is known as kombu, and dried bonito fish flakes, that is katsuobushi, there is a dried fish, and mushrooms, shiitakes. So it is a combination of kombu, katsuobushi, and shiitakes. You get a Japanese stock is known as dashi. You can see in the image, this is kombu, dried shiitake mushrooms, and bonito flakes, which is known as katsuobushi. These are three things majorly used for making a dashi, a Japanese stock. Next, white stock, how it is made. A white stock is French. In French, it is known as fond blanc. Blanc means white, and it is light in color and silky in texture. How it is made? It is made by cleaning bones to remove the impurities without adding any color. As the name is given, white stock, so it has to be ensured from the chef's point of view, the bones are well cleaned. Because if the impurities are present in the bone, that will automatically spoil the final color or the outcome of the stock. So it is mandatory to clean the bones very nicely before you go for making stocks. Sometimes bones are often enough to require only a thorough rinse, though most bones need to be blanched to achieve purity. There are two ways. One is simply bones are very clean, you can see, so automatically you can rinse it in water for some time to remove the superficial darts out of the bone. But the best method is to blanch the bones for making a white stock. Blanching will help you to remove the layer of the fat will melt in the mild heat of the blanching water, and then automatically the darts which are sticking to those fats, that will start releasing, and automatically the bones will be cleaned properly. So blanching of bones for making white stock is mandatory, you can say. The bones often used are full of collagen, such as veal bones for a white veal stock, or supplemental chicken feet for a white chicken stock, and result is a gelatinous finish. More collagen present in the bone means, because of the simmering process, more gelatin will be extracted to the liquid, and more gelatin in the stock means the quality of the stock will be heightened, it will be enhanced, and it will be more nutritive value concentrated. That is what we are looking for. A mipua of common vegetables, either raw or lightly sauteed, is introduced to the liquid in order to maintain a delicate hue in the finished stock. We add mipua in the stock. It is a combination of vegetables. We'll elaborate it in the later part of the slides surely. That is to accentuate the flavor of the stock. And you can see the appearance of the white stock is almost colorless. We called it off-white color, but it is not white like milk, though it is termed as a white stock. Brown stock or brown stock in French is known as fond brun, B-R-U-N. It is rich in color, ranging from a golden brown to a deep mahogany full body color. So that should be the color of brown stock. It is made by roasting the bones. How this color will come out? You have to, before starting, you have to roast the bones, rather caramelize the bone in the oven to get that caramel color. While simmering that roasted bones, automatically the color will help to get the actual color of the final stock, that is a brown color, the robust mahogany color. Some brown stocks, tomato paste is also roasted. Tomato is also roasted with the bones or folded into the stock to brighten the hue and further develop the texture. Tomato, we take the help of tomatoes also. Tomato is very much there. It has got multiple uses. It has got some acidic presence that is also required for making a stock. We'll clarify it little later up. And tomato will not only add on the taste, help in coagulation, at the same time it will accentuate the color of the brown stock. In the case of lamb and duck stocks, the vegetables are sauteed instead of roasted. Remember, if you are making a brown stock made with lamb or duck bones, ensure that you are not browning the vegetables. You are lightly sauteing the vegetables. This variation prevents the liquid from becoming too dark. If you roast the vegetables, by the time the veal and lamb and duck bone will be caramelized, by the time those meat-poor vegetables will be overcolored or burnt. Just to prevent that, especially for this lamb and duck stock, saute the vegetables, then add instead of roasting the vegetables along with the bones. With their rich dark shade, brown stocks are intended to guide the flavor and texture of a dish. As the basic liquid is a brown stock, automatically the final product should have a more intense color. Sometimes during the braising time also, we use this brown stock. So braising liquid will become more intense in flavor. You can see the color of the brown stock. It is also brown in color, not like off-white color, the white stock. Basic ingredients. Let us see the demography of this. What are the ingredients we require? Stocks are prepared with a few basic ingredients including bones, mirepoix, herbs and spices, and sometimes tomatoes or wine. So these are the basic ingredients we require to make any stock, basic stock. They are often prepared using leftover ingredients as a cost-effective measure for the kitchen. Remember, we don't require to purchase the ingredients for making a stock in your kitchen. Rather, in your kitchen, you are having plenty of raw materials available. Out of that, you use the leftovers and prepare the stock. So this is very cost effective. Always ensure that the ingredients you are using are of best quality. And stock pot should not be a dumping ground with those ingredients which are already crossed their prime quality. That means whatever is fresh and best quality leftover of ingredients available in your kitchen, that only you are going to use in your stock pot for making a stock. By any chance, not anything and everything available you are putting and dumping ground into the stock pot. That is not allowed. Meat trimmings can be added as long as they are clean of fat and gristle. If you see the meats are there, leftovers cannot be used for making guest preparations. So you can use them, but ensure that they are not having a fat or gristle sticking to the meat piece. Because if those two things are present over there, that will make the stock very greasy. And as a result, at the end, whenever final product you are going to make with the same stock, that product will also have excess of oil or fat floating on top. To prevent that, it is very important to look into these minute points while making the stock. Aromatic vegetables, usually onions, celery and carrots, are typically incorporated. Substituting leeks for the onions or adding garlic enhance the flavor of the stock. So onion can be replaced with leek. Sometimes garlic can be utilized depending upon the typicality of your final product. That will also enhance the flavor of the stock. Tomatoes are incorporated in brown stock, not in white stock. Remember, that is very important. And for the color and the flavor, and also to add acidity, because presence of acid will help in clarifying the stock. That means the stock will become more clear, free of impurities. It will become transparent, almost. When preparing a fumet, naze or court bouillon, white wine is added for flavor and acidity. Remember this. Standard seasoning includes parsley, bay leaf, thyme and peppercorn. No salt for making a stock. Why? Because stock will be used as a foundation liquid for many other dishes. Their salt intake and capacity is different. So if you add salt in the stock, and while making a product again you will be adding salt, so there will be a possibility that quantity of salt will be higher in the final product. Moreover, presence of salt will attract the microorganisms while storing the stock. So best option is not to use any salt in the stock. Other herbs and spices augment the flavor as desired. We can choose the herbs and spices available in your kitchen to augment the flavor as desired by you. Vegetable stocks begin with a mapo of onion, celery and carrots, enhanced by additional vegetables, leek, garlic, mushroom, tomatoes, fennel and similar ingredients. These are the ingredients can be used for making a vegetable stock. To be remembered, whenever you are making a white stock, simply by simmering it can be done, but ensure that bones are always blanched or well rinsed in water for cleaning purposes. And brown stock is always made by caramelizing the bones along with the mapo of vegetables to get the brown color. Basic parts of stock. Let us see once again the demography in a type of picture. If this is the basic stock, then what are the ratios? Water we are going to use 3 parts, bones 2 parts, mapo of vegetables 450 grams per gallon of stock water, and tomato puree or paste, that is optional only for the brown stock, that is 120 grams per gallon. Now here we'll see what will be the composition of a specific amount of stock. The basic stock you are going to prepare say 4 liters. What are the things you require? You require liquid 6 liters, bones 2.7 to 3.6 kgs, mapo of 450 grams, tomato paste for brown stock only. Otherwise, you're going to omit this. 120 grams per gallon. Sachet d'épices, which is a mixture of parsley, bay leaf, thyme and peppercorn. We'll explain these terms sachet d'épices afterwards. So these are the ingredients we require. All these ingredients we require to make a basic stock. Only remember, out of these ingredients, tomato paste is not must for all the stocks. Only for the brown stock we can use tomato paste. Otherwise, rest all the ingredients can be used for any stock you are going to make. Selecting and preparing bones for making stocks. As I have mentioned, start with high quality of ingredients because you are not going to compromise with the quality from the very beginning. Only the fresh ingredients will be utilized and the best possible ingredients will be utilized, the leftovers, for making the stock. Use bone from the younger animals because they are having more cartilages. More cartilages and simmering process will ensure the stock is more gelatinous and it will be having a very sticky appearance, and that is the excellence of a stock. Cut the bones always into small pieces. It will ensure more extractions into the liquid. A combination of meaty and marrow of bones gives the stock a rich flavor. You can use some meat, some bone marrows over there, but ensure that bone marrows, the animal should be very free from any diseases. Otherwise, bone marrow is dangerous, not to be used. Meat trimmings are okay as long as they are fresh and trimmed off excess of fat. All the time remember that there should not be any excess of fat in any of the ingredients you are going to be used. Use lean fish, not the fatty fish like salmon and tuna, because ultimate result is the stock will have more fat and oil. And for distinctive flavor, also for that, the salmon and tuna has got distinctive flavor, so we're not going to use that. We'll use more neutral flavor, lean fish, for that kind of preparation of stock. When using fish bones, remove the gills, which tend to have an off color. So gills may give you foul smell into the stock. So we are not going to use any gills of fish for the fumet or the stock making of fish. Now here we'll clarify the difference between Maypoa and sachet d'épices. First of all, Mirepoix is a combination of onions, carrot and celery in the ratio of 2:1:1. With the flavoring ingredients, sometimes we also add leek. If it is leek, then 2:1:1:1. That means one part will be used. And this flavoring stock, but also this Maypoix can be utilized for making sauce, soups, meat, poultry, fish and vegetable dishes, where Maypoix can also be utilized. Mirepoix, when to add Mirepoix into the stock preparations? Mirepoix can be added at the beginning or the end of the preparation process, depending on whether it is a white or brown stock. Why? Because white stock cooking time is less, brown stock cooking time is more. If it is a white stock, the Mirepoix is added at the end so that you can retain the flavor to the full extent. In case of brown stock, the Mirepoix is often roasted with the bones, so it is added in the beginning only. Use a dominant vegetable to create an intense flavor like mushroom, tomato and fennel into the stock. Vegetable trimmings are okay to use as long as they are fresh. Remember, this is underlining every time, and used in balance with the other ingredients. Now there are some variations of Mirepoix. Asian Mirepoix is there. for Asian cuisine, Asian dishes. Asian aromatics are used: 2 parts of garlic, 1 part of green onion and 2 parts of ginger to add fragrance to the product. That is Asian mirepoix. There is white mirepoix used to add flavor to white stock, and soups usually made with equal parts of onion, celery, leek and parsnip. This is known as the white mirepoix. And there is one Cajun Trinity. What is Cajun? Cajun is actually the southern part of USA where French people started settling down. And obviously, that place has got the influence of the French cuisine. So that is a typical area, southern part of USA where French people are settled, and they are having a typical cuisine subject to the availability of the local ingredients and the origin of the French cuisine. So they are having a new cuisine that is known as Cajun cuisine. And they prepare a dish like gumbo, where a Cajun Trinity is used, which is very similar to mirepoix, made with 2 parts of onion, 1 part of celery and 1 part of bell pepper. So onion, celery and bell pepper, 2 parts of onion, 1 part of celery and 1 part of bell pepper. That will give the Cajun Trinity. There is another one term which is known as Matignon. There is a difference between Matignon and mirepoix. It is used to garnish and flavor different dishes. This type of mirepoix is made with diced ham, onion, celery and carrots, and then some herbs and spices are added such as thyme and bay leaves. Can also include mushroom. And the most special part of Matignon is served along with the dishes. Sometimes when roasting we use a Matignon of vegetables, which is cooked along with the roasting item and then served along with the roasted item. So Matignon is inclusion of ham is there, onion, celery and carrots. Then mushroom is also there for the flavor and thyme. And this is the image you can see. This is the image of a simple and basic mirepoix. Now we are switching over to sachet d'épices. Sachet d'épices is nothing but a kind of bag. You have heard about the word tea sachet. Similarly, a bag is used. Within that, some flavoring herbs and spices are kept in. So this containing herbs and spices that is used to add flavor to stocks, soups and casseroles, and it is literally mean bag of spices in French. Just dip like a tag, you dip it. Often referred to simply as a sachet, we also call it sachet sometimes, and it is used in a similar manner as a bouquet garni. What is bouquet garni? I'll explain. With the main difference being that a sachet ingredients are enclosed in a cheesecloth or a muslin packet, while a bouquet garni is a bundle of herbs. Bouquet word indicating the bunch or bundle. So bouquet garni is a bundle of herbs, whereas sachet is a combination of ingredients which is tied up in a cheesecloth and dipped into the product while cooking. Common ingredients included in a sachet d'épices are dried thymes, parsley stems, bay leaf. Remember, parsley stems are used for this sachet, not the leaves out here. Whole peppercorn and whole cloves. That is the combination of sachet d'épices. And it looks like this. There is a cheesecloth and we are having all these ingredients over there. It is tied up and then dipped into the product while cooking. to take out the flavor into the liquid. Where is the bouquet garni? Now bouquet garni is an assortment of fresh herbs and other aromatic ingredients tied in a bundle with a string. A basic bouquet garni contains pieces of leek and celery, thyme sprigs, bay leaf, and parsley stem. And it looks like this. See how it is tied up with a thread, and it will be again dipped into the liquid in your stock or in sauce for extracting the flavor. So sachet d'épicier and bouquet garni almost the same. Combination is, but way of using is little different, but very similar. They are very close to each other. Liquid used and role of acid in stock making. Two liquids can be utilized. One is simple water. Another one is, this one is very important, is known as a remouillage. In bracket is mentioned second weighting of the stock pot. The concept is, suppose you have made a stock. It is strained. The bones are still there. Now these bones, which is already used for making stock, still having some nutrients and flavor in it. So what we can do is that you take out those bones and just boil it in water for some more time. So what will happen? Some extracts will be extracting to that liquid, and then you use that liquid as a basic liquid for making a stock. So first, the used bone, which is already used for making a stock, use that bone, boil it in water, and that liquid, after boiling, extract it, strain it, and use it for making a stock. So instead of having simple water into the stock, we are using these second time boiling bones. The liquid comes out, that is used. That is known as a remouillage, or second weighting of the stock pot. Can be substituted for the water to enhance the flavor of the stock. So remouillage concept is very noble, very important one for the chefs. And the role of acid in making stock. Acid helps to break down the cartilage and other connective tissues in bones, thus accelerating the formation of gelatin. Once the cartilage are broken, who helps? Acid. What happens then? Gelatin is formed. More gelatin in the stock means it's become more concentrated, viscous, and gummy in nature. And strength wise, if we say, it is more strength than stock. Tomato, what happens? What is the purpose of adding tomato? We have made it also, discussed also. Now we'll again clarify it. Tomato used for the brown stock. Tomato paste are used mainly for the flavor and color, and also for the acid. Wine, white stock and chicken stock sometimes use white wine, and fish stock also use the wine all the time. Now what happens? This wine means the presence of acid. Acid will help in coagulations. One thing to remember is that acid reacts with the aluminium cookware. So use a stainless steel stock pot for making the stock. Don't use any aluminium pot available in the kitchen. Cooking time of the stocks. Brown stock made out of beef, veal, game meat, 6 to 8 hours. White meat, that is a beef, veal, game meat, that is 6 to 8 hours. White stock made with only lamb, 4 hours. White stock made with poultry 2 to 3 hours. Vegetable stock 45 minutes. Fish fume. Fish stock is very fragile, very soft. That's why 20 minutes only. Now here we can see few terms: bouillon, broth, brown stock, white stock, meat stock, poultry stock, fish fume, shellfish stock, vegetable stock. These are the varieties of stock made in the kitchen. Court bouillon, already we have mentioned, that is a poaching liquid for the fish. Nas also we have mentioned, it is similar to court bouillon but associated with only shellfish. Essence, once the stock is reduced further, it becomes essence. Remuas also we have discussed, the reweighting of the bones. Glaze or glass, a natural reduction of stock to a syrupy consistency. When it will become so syrupy by nature, after reduction, it is known as glass or glaze. And esubad is a brown beef stock. Basic tips: start with cold liquid, allow natural classification to occur, skim carefully. Whenever the stock will be in a simmering stage, you will see on the surface there will be some froths, some impurities are floating on top. So carefully remove them. That is known as skimming process. And simmer the stock, never boil. More you boil, what will happen? The fat will break down into multiple globules and it will mix up with the water. It will be emulsified because of the agitational process inside the water while boiling, and ultimately it will be emulsified and stock will become cloudy. So why we are not boiling? Because it will prevent the cloudiness of the stock. Very simple answer. Seasoning of the stock, already I have mentioned, we are not going to season it as because it will be used as a base liquid for other preparations. So better not to use any salt over there other than the spices. Freezing of stock, plastic zip top bag, we can put them and put it in the refrigerator. Wide mouthed glass that you have seen in the picture already, where we can use the stock and keep it for some time, or ice cube tray where you can put the stock and make the stock cubes, put it in the refrigerator. Whenever you want to use, pick up the cube and put it in the preparation. It will get the purpose will be served. So this is your recap about the basic tips. With this, we are at the end of this session. Thank you very much for your patience. Hopefully, lot many informations delivered in this session. All are very important for making a stock. Go through this lesson time and again if you can. And definitely it will be a good learning for you all. However, I'll understand the same only when I'll see lot many comments there in the comment box from your side. If there are any doubts, definitely I'll try to give my best experiences delivered over there. If you have liked this session, don't forget to subscribe, press the like button, press the bell icon as well, put your comment, and we'll come back in the next sessions very fast. Thank you very much. Till then, enjoy.